Hello guys, welcome back to class. In this session, we'll continue the arrays. So in the previous session, we have seen one-dimensional arrays, how to declare one-dimensional arrays, how to create one-dimensional arrays, how to initialize, and how to access the elements of one-dimensional array. And when you write a one-dimensional array, what are positive cases, negative cases? Means what are the mistakes you do commonly? Those labs we have done, right? And how we created the array. When you create one-dimensional array, you're writing data type, array name, bracket equals to new data type and size. So this I am calling as dynamic initialization. So here I am creating an array int arr equals to new int of, you have to specify the dimension here, just I am taking simple 3. So this dimension is mandatory. Remember that this should be a positive number and here you should not write dimension. And when this statement executed internally, you know what happens. Was the total memory allocated in this line? Was the total memory allocated in this line? In this line, what is the memory allocated? 20, right? 8 plus 3 into 4. 8 plus 3 into 4. Right. So do the allocation. ARR, reference variable, and 3 blocks of memory will be allocated. 3 blocks of memory allocated. Each block gets the 4 bytes, 4 bytes, and 4 bytes. Reference variable gets 8 bytes of memory. And indexing 0, 1, 2. Default values are, what are the default values? 0, 0, and 0. Because of integer 0, 0, 0. Right? So this is one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array means array of elements, collection of elements. Some address you have for this array. So address 500. This reference variable contains address 500 means this is pointing to this. So as of now, tell me what happened. As of now, 2 things happened. Number A, array is declared. Number B, array is created. Array reference variable is declared. Array object is created. A, array reference variable is declared and array object is created. And by default initialized with the default values. Now, you have to initialize the values whatever you want, right? So as per your data, you have to initialize. For example, I am writing ARR of 0 equals to 10, ARR of 1 equals to 20, ARR of 2 equals to 30. So what is this, guys? Can I say this as a C task? This is initializing, right? Initialization. A is declaring array, B creating array object, C initializing object. So after initializing, how the array looks? ARR. Again, I'm redrawing the diagram. Same array, 500, address here, indexes 0, 1, 2. Now you have initialized 10 here. You have initialized 20 at the index 1. You initialize 30 at index 1. After initialization, your array looks like this. So this is the default initialization and this is after your initialization. So this is what we have seen and other use cases we discussed. Now you can do a static initialization also. So we'll talk about static initialization. Static initialization. When to use static initialization? When you have a data readily available, you can go for that. It means int ARR equals to, you have a data ready. Then directly suppose I have a 10, 20, 30 readily available. You assign the values here only. See the syntax. You have a bracket, array representation. Then if you want to statically initialize the values, start the bracket, first element, comma, second element, comma, third element, comma, fourth element, comma, fifth element, like this, once over, bracket, and no comma at the last. Okay? It can be anything. Double values also. Suppose 1.9, comma, 2.9, comma, 3.9, something. It can be Boolean array, true, comma, false, comma, true, comma, something like this. It can be a string array, hello, hi, strings. This is array of integers, array of double values, array of booleans, array of strings. So this is what is known as static initialization. So here, semicolon. Now, when you do this statement, internally what happens? Here, three things happening, guys. A, array is declaring. B, you're creating array also. And C, you are initializing also. Previously, dynamic initialization means first you are doing A and B, which is declaring array, creating. Then space is ready. Space allocated like this space allocated. Now, you are getting the data from user. User is giving the value 10, initializing to 0th index. Again, user is giving the dynamically, user is giving a second value 20. Then I'm assigning a second element in the first index. Next, user is giving a third element 30. I'm assigning to another. So dynamically, you are getting a data. It means you don't have a data readily available. First, you're declaring array, creating array means memory space allocated like this, empty space allocated like this. Then you initialize. See, you are doing initialization, then it looks like this. But in this, I think you are declaring A, creating array, B, and C is initializing all that three tasks you are doing at single line. So how it looks in the memory? It is same as this. ARR gets a memory, 8 bytes, and array will be constructed. What is the size of an array here? You are not specifying any size. Previously you told I want a 3 elements. You are telling 3 means I want to store 3 elements. You are telling please allocate the memory for 3 elements. I am getting a 3 elements from user in future. So allocate 3 elements data, 3 elements space. But here you have a data ready, 10, 20, 30. How much data ready? 3. So it will count how many values you're passing here. You're passing 1, 2, 3. So automatically it allocates 3 blocks. Right? And each block, because those are integers, each block again the 4 bytes each. Indexes becoming 0, 1, and 2. First block initializing with first element. Second block initializing with second element. Third block initializing with third element. After fully initialized, this array address considered as suppose 600. The address will be assigned here. So any internal difference here and there? In the dynamic initialization, guys, finally you are seeing this. Here also, finally you are seeing this. See any difference between these two? Are you seeing any difference between these two? Internally, same story. And the same 3 steps. What are 3 steps? Declaring array, creating array object, initializing it. So in the case of dynamic, first you are declaring, then creating array object. Empty space will come like this. Later, dynamically you collect the data from user and you assign that. Then you are initializing fully. Static initialization case, I have a data ready, guys. I know need to collect dynamically from user. I am not collecting from user in future. Already have a data readily available. If you have a data readily available, then you can go for a static initialization where you do the declaration, creation, and initialization, all three steps in a single line. Internal stories. So, is that clear about a static initialization and dynamic initialization, guys? Any doubts on this? Go for the simple labs on this. So we are doing part 5, right? Okay. So let's start the simple labs. So previously we had done 215 lab. Now 216 we have to do. Lab number 216.java. So ARR, you are not creating now. You are creating and initializing at same place, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, something like this. I have a 5 elements. Now if I say ARR.size, size means you are calling a length variable. So what should be the length of this? Internal allocation is same only, right? As we discussed. Is creating array and you print it for int I equals to 0, I less than ARR dot length. Directly I am writing there only. ARR dot length means 5 will come. Means I am writing I less than 5 is the condition. Then print. Block notation I am not using because single statement only have to print. Still you can write a block statement. So in this we are statically declaring, creating and initializing elements, then printing those. Java C lab 216.java. I did a mistake. Instead of ARR, I had to print ARR of I, correct? So you're printing element at I. I want to print element at I. So it prints. Size is showing as 5 only. All the 5 elements I'm able to display. Okay. So here it will determine the type of array. What is the variable type? What is the array variable type here? There are two things. For assignment operator, this side, left side and right side. Left side always will have a reference variable type. Right side will have a object type. Okay. What's the reference variable type, guys? Int only. Clearly you have written as int. And object type, we are not saying as int anywhere. It will determine the type as int based on the numbers you have, the values you have. Because you written a 10, 20, 30, 40, which are integers only, it will identify and fix the data type as integer. So this types must be reference variable type, object type must be compatible or a same. First same or maybe worst case compatible. Otherwise, you don't accept that. Especially in arrays, always you have to use the same types. Okay, I'll do a small trick on this. 217.java. So I'm using the values as some 10.5 simple values I'll use. 7.1, 2.2, 3.3, 4.4, 5.5, something like this. Now tell me what happens in this. What happens, guys? Naveen tells the error. What about others? Error because of incompatible, right? So type is, I just here it is there already on the screen. Array type, variable type is integer only, but you have a double values here. So object type becomes the double, right? Double array cannot be assigned to integer array. Double array it is. Double array, not Naveen, it is not a double to int. This is actually not a double to int. Double to int is different. Double array to int array is different. Understand? This is a double array to int array. Double array to int array can't be assigned. Can I assign int array to double array? Is this okay? Array case, no compatibility, guys. Exactly, you must take same. So this gives the error. See, incompatible. You can't do that. So you have to take this also as a double array. Double array type, double array object. Double to double means fine. Okay, size is 5 only. We have 5 double values on this. Okay, next 218. This we just now discussed about the 218. I'm taking integer array only. 10, 20, 30, 40, 9.9. Last I am using as a 9.9. So this is integer array variable. Internally, it will create this also as integer object only, right? Because integers you have, it is expecting you should have integer array object. So 10 allowed as integer, okay. 20 allowed as integer, okay. 30 allowed integer, okay. 40 allowed integer, okay. But 9.9 is a double you are assigning to integer array. Means how many blocks of memory will be allocated here, guys? Tell me. 5 blocks. Indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you tell how much space allocated for each block? Can you tell how much space allocated for each block? 4 bytes only. Very good. Because it is integer, it is taking as a 4 bytes. Now, first you have a 10. 10 integer, it stores successfully. 20 integer, it stores successfully. 30 integer, it stores successfully. 40 integer, it stores successfully. But last 9.9, this is integer block, right? This last block is integer block, 4 bytes. You are trying to keep the 9.9 double. Means I need integer in this room, but you are keeping double value. This gives the problem, right? So, incompatible types, possible ASCII conversion from double to int, because the box is the last cell is the last block is for reserved for integers 4 bytes. You can't keep the double values. So this has to give an error. Right? So we can't do that. Same similar types, right? We discussed the array definition at the beginning. Array is collection of elements of same type. We can't use different types. 218 done, 219. Say this. Tell me about this 219. So what is the size of this array? What's the size of this array, guys? Size is 0. How many elements you kept in the bracket? Inside the bracket, how many elements you written? Inside the bracket, you written as 0 elements. This is equivalent to writing like this. New int of 0. 0 size you're creating. This also makes the same. 0 blocks will be allocated. Length becomes the 0. So this program will compile and run. Can I do empty bracket like this with the 0 elements? Yes, you can do that. No use of this. Can I store any elements in this? Can I store any elements in this, guys? You cannot store any elements. No use of that, but syntactically okay. Maybe in interview, this kind of tricky things they'll ask. 0 size. Okay. Next 220. I am trying to access error of 0. Now tell me. Tell me, guys, what happens? Array index out of bounds exception during the runtime, because in the above array, no blocks allocated, right? No blocks allocated means no rooms available. Then you are asking, I want a room number 0. Rooms only not there. Where I can get a room number 0? So room index is, room number is not valid, right? That only in our technical term, array index out of bounds. Very good. This compiles successfully, but gives the runtime error saying array index out of bounds exception. Compile successfully. Array index out of bounds exception at line number 5. See, this is the line number 5. It is showing at line number 5. Which is the line number 5 count. This is the line number 1, 2. Next space is 3, 4. This is the 5. Line number 5, we got this. Done. Simple about static initialization and dynamic initialization were done in the previous sessions. Next important topic, we may not use rarely, we may not use more, rarely we may use anonymous arrays. Anonymous arrays. So simple name is array without name. Array without name is called as anonymous array. Okay? But I have a doubt. What is the name of an array? What's the name of the array, guys? The reference variable itself called as a name, right? For example, if you take int arr equals to new int of 5, something. This arr is the name, am I right? Arr is the name. Name not there. Means don't do this line. I am not declaring a name. Means you are writing only this line. This creates the object. If you write only new int of 5, okay, it will allocate memory, take 3 sample. It allocates memory, 3 blocks will be allocated, 0, 1, 2, and initializing with 0. After creating the array object, address will come. Say some address 500 came. Are you storing the address in any variable? If you store the address in any variable, you can call that. Suppose if I store this in arr variable, arr contains 500, then I can refer this blocks as arr of 0, arr of 1, arr of 2, like that. But I don't have any name. I am not taking any reference variable. If you are not taking any reference variable, can you tell me the way how can I access the array? Now this is array created. If I initialize the 10 in the 0th index, how you initialize the 10 in the 0th index, guys? How you will initialize the 10 in the 0th index? Tell me, name is not there for array. How you will initialize the 10 in the 0th index? Can you do that? No. Then what is the use of anonymous arrays? Anonymous arrays will be used only in a special case, not always. These are useful only in method calls. Only in method calls. These are useful only in method calls. There's only one use case for this anonymous arrays. Just you can save some kind of memory because of this. Okay, let's start how it is really useful. Suppose I have a simple method, guys. Method return type I'm taking as a void. Method name is show. Method parameter is integer array. Array means you have to write like this. ARR is a method parameter. So ARR is a local variable only. Am I right? ARR is a local variable only. What this method is doing is, method takes the array as input and it displays the values. You know how to display the values? Okay, display it for int I equals to 0, I less than ARR dot length, I plus plus, then SOP ARR of I. Okay, this is a simple function I have. So anyone who calls the array, they have to pass the array as parameter. This array will take, this show method takes the array as parameter and displays that. That's it. It's not returning anything. Return type is void. So you do the client code, means how to call this. Suppose I am taking an array here. Int A only I am taking. Int A equals to new int of 3. Size 3 I am taking, guys. When I take a size 3, so you're going to declare A reference variable and 3 blocks of memory. This address it is storing here, indexes 0, 1. This is dynamic creation, right? Option 1 I am calling dynamic creation. You initialize the values. A of 0 equals to 10, A of 1 equals to 20, A of 2 equals to 30. I created, declared, initialized, all three done. Now, say address is 500. This 500 I am storing. What are the values assigned? 10, 20, and 30. So I have an array. I just taken a 3 values here, but I want to print it. I can write a code for printing for loop, but already have a friendly method is there. Show method is there. I have to call the show method. Call the show method now. You're calling a show. When you're calling a show method, what you have to pass as a parameter, guys? You pass A as a parameter here. This is your method call, right? So what happens when you call this? Control will go to this method. What you are passing? You are passing A. What A contains? Address of array. You're passing 500, guys. You're passing 500. So here, here, this 500 will be assigned. What is this actually? What is this actually? Is this only array declaration, guys? Is this array declaration into bracket ARR? That is only array declaration, right? What is array you're declaring here? You're declaring array called ARR and initial value null. Whenever you call this 500 will be stored in this. ARR is a local variable, array variable only, reference variable only. But what it contains? It contains address of an array. Means this show method has an address of your array, right? This is the same array object I am passing there. So when you print, what values will be printed? Indirectly, this array only you are accessing there. Am I right, guys? Means this is also pointing to same array. Correct? It displays. Okay. So when you will go for this dynamic initialization, guys, this is a dynamic initialization process. In this, if you want to get a data dynamically, you create and then initialize. Then you call a show, it will run. Then suppose I have a second use case. I have a data ready, guys. If data ready is there, my first option is waste because I can do that very easily. Int b, I'm taking another b equals to new int of, no, not new int. Static initialization means I have three values readily available, guys, 10, 20, 30. So b also gets memory. And your values now, you consider address is, for easiness, I'm calling address as 600. 10, 20, 30, I'm assigning here, guys. This has 600. Array ready. Now I can call a show method, show of b. Right? Now control will be transfer to show. What you are passing address? 600. Again, memory will be allocated for ARR. Again, memory will be allocated for ARR. Now this time 600 it contains. Means this is pointing this array. Fine. So these two options you can use, guys. Static initialization, second option you go. Dynamic initialization, first option you go. Right? This we know that. Now, in the case of static initialization, you can prefer an anonymous array. Why we need anonymous array? You see now. In the first case, do you have a name for array or not? Do you have a name for array? Case 1, do you have a name for array, guys? Yes. Name of that is A. Second case, do you have a name for that array? Yes. What's the name of that? B. So first case, it has a name A, so it is not anonymous. Second case, the array has a name called B, so it is not anonymous. Third case I'm taking, which is anonymous. You call directly show method by creating array there itself, guys. You say new, extra syntax little bit I am using. This is the new, and then 10, 20, and 30. I am writing a new int, but I am not specifying size because I am telling the values here. This is static initialization only. This syntax I'll explore. So in this third case, are you creating array? Are you creating array or not? Yes, you're creating array. First element 10, second element 20, third element 30. Consider address of this is 900. Are you storing address anywhere? After creating this, you are getting address 900. You are calling show with 900. It means it is calling your function with the value 900. Now again, the third time I am calling a show. Your local variables gets the memory every time when you call. If I call a show one time, the local variables gets memory. Again, if I call, again memory will be allocated. Once the method of execution completed, local variable memory will be cleared. Now again, ARR gets memory. This time I am calling a show with address 900. So this is pointing to this array only. Third case, guys, whether I am creating array object or not. Third case, I am creating array object. And what is the name of the array in the third case? What's the name of the array in third case? What's the name of the array in third case, guys? No name. Can I call this as an anonymous array? Can I call this an anonymous array? Yes. When I am using an anonymous array, only in the method calls, am I right? I am using an anonymous array only in method calls, correct? Now, you compare case 2 and 3. Case 2 and 3, which is the best and why? Case 2 and 3, which is the best and why, guys? Pavitra is telling second is the best. Why best? Memory wise, if you see, third case, at least we are using 8 bytes of less space. Yes, Pavani and Hari, you're right. Third case, you don't have a reference variable, right? I am not holding the address of an array in any reference variable. Because of that, at least you're saving 8 bytes of memory. In that case, memory wise, if you think that is the fine. But third case, one problem is, can I use that array here only? Here I want to use the array. Can I use the array here? Can I use the anonymous array here? You can't use. You're creating address. You are sending directly to the caller. You can't use that. You can't use that. Here I can't use that array. I don't have address. I'm not holding address anywhere here. So depending on the case, you don't want to use now. You want to use this in a function only. The method only has to use. You don't want to use here. In that case, you prefer to go for anonymous. At least you will save 8 bytes of memory. Other than that, no advantage. So clear, guys, about anonymous arrays. The rare cases you will use. Sometimes you will use. Do the labs now. 21. 20 done previously. Now 21.java. Static initializations I just shown 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. And you can also just print it for int I equals to 0, I less than arr dot length I plus plus. Up to this, any new thing for us? Nothing. I have an array statically created, initialized, and then printing it. Compiled successfully and it prints all the elements. Why all 10 only? I'm printing only error of 0. No, error of I add use. Because error of 0 only printing 5 times, so 10 only displayed 5 times. Okay. Now in the static initialization syntax, I'm improving, guys. You can also do like this. New int of. In the dynamic initialization, what you are doing? See, dynamic initialization, you are doing like this. After this, giving some number as 5. Correct? Same syntax. Don't use the number here and use your static in this. And when you have this, you are not specifying any dimension because you are not supplying elements. You are supplying elements. Previously, what you have done? Syntax int err equals to new int of, we given a dimension. But now I am not giving a dimension because I am giving elements. You can also do like this. Syntax is required for anonymous. Okay. So this program is nothing but I am doing a static. In this, I am not using any anonymous array, right? Am I using any anonymous array in this program? Guys? No, I am not using any anonymous array. In this, I am just showing a new syntax of anonymous array. Instead of this is the static initialization only. Extra syntax added on this. So this program will compile and run. We tested. Okay. 222. I am giving a dimension also. How many elements I am passing? 5 elements. Giving the 5 here. Now guess. We tested this previously with only dimension or with elements. In this case now 222 lab, I am giving a dimension also plus elements also. Can I do both? Answer is no. You have to provide either a dimension or elements. If you provide dimension, you should not add elements. Understand the syntax, guys? 222, compile this. Okay. Because you given a dimension, After that, immediately semicolon. This bracket is not allowed because of dimension given. It is telling this much is not allowed. Error. We can't do that. You can't give this syntax is, I'm just writing here as, see, if you have a dimension given, then this box not allowed. This declaration is not allowed, guys. Only this much. Or if you want to give elements, then don't give the dimension. These two syntaxes clear. So both giving elements and giving dimension not allowed. So that is the point I want to convey in this lab 222. Point is clear. Now, in this, whether I am using any anonymous array, in this, whether I am using any anonymous array, guys, in this, whether I am using any anonymous array, no, I am not using any anonymous array in this. This is also just showing this point. Okay, another lab. Here we will use the 223.java anonymous array I'll use. To use anonymous array, I am writing one function, public static void void show, which is taking integer array as parameter. So this printing code, instead of you writing the 2 lines of printing code, I am moving that printing to function. Clear? Now the printing is taking array printing, taking 2 lines of code, right? And if you give a bracket, for example, I am habited to write a bracket also. This is my code. Now I am writing a 3 lines of code. So instead of writing a 3 lines of code every time whenever I want to print an array, I just move to the function show. Now what I can do? I can call here show of array I can pass. If already have an array, I can just pass it. This is one way, correct? Is this okay, guys? Is this program okay? See and tell me. 223. Tell me, guys, this program is okay or not? No response. Yes. Is this anonymous array? Is this anonymous array program? No, we have a name. But still, one time we'll just compile and run this. This is not anonymous. We have a name clearly. Compile and execute it. Make it anonymous means only reference variable we are declaring. Remove that. Then you take out this directly, pass here as parameter. That's it. This is now anonymous array. Only in method calls we'll prefer to use this anonymous array. Okay? Is that clear, guys? Now, anonymous arrays, simple case done. Only one special case. Next, enhanced for loop. Next is enhanced for loop. New syntax is given for from Java 5 version, new syntax given for loop, for new syntax. Okay. The new syntax is something like this. Use the for and use the colon here. After colon, you write the array name, and this before this, some variable you write. And bracket start, do something. So what happens here is, this is a basic syntax. If you take an example, for example, I have an integer array like this. Easily, I'm taking a static one. I have a 10, 20, 30, guys. For after colon, you write your array. What is array name? Array name is ARR. So from ARR, yeah, Manikanta, it is also called as a for each loop. For each loop. This is also called as for each loop. So what happens now is automatically this array elements will be taken one by one. For it repeats for each element one time. For each element one time. So what happens is you take a variable here x. First, from this array, first element will be taken 10. That will be stored in x. Your x contains the first element 10. Inside that, you use it. Either you print it or do something. Currently, I am just printing x value. X I printed. After finishing the body execution, it repeats and takes automatically second element, stores that in x. You print it. Again repeats, takes third element, stores that in x. Now x contains third. You print it. Repeat. Any more elements are there? No more elements. All are covered. It comes out of a loop. So this is simplified version of for loop. You are not taking the counter I0, you are not checking the condition, you are not incrementing, all that not happening. But it is similar to the same only. It will allow you to access all the array elements one by one. So is that clear? Simplest syntax, how to use this? Okay, guys. Simplest syntax to use. Now, what should be the type of x? What should be type of x, guys? X is a variable or declare. How to declare a variable x? Integer. Integer, because x is holding element or address of array. X holding element or address of array. Element of array, address of array. Element of array, 10 element of array, 20 it is holding. The elements it is holding, element is integer type. So 4 bytes. You have to make this as int x. Int x. Okay. Now, for example, I am taking double array. I am taking, guys, suppose 1.1, 2.2, 3.3 like this. Now I am writing enhanced for loop. X colon, the array name is D here. D is my array name. And print x. Okay. My array name is after colon array name D. Yes, matching. So from this array gets the first element 1.1, stores in x. You print it. Next repeat. Second element 2.2, stores that in x. You print repeat 3.3, stores that in x. Next repeat, no more elements. Stop this. Now what should be the x type now? What should be the x type? Which element you are storing in x? Which element you are storing in x, guys? Which element you are storing in x? Double, very good. This should be of double. So the usage of enhanced for loop is clear. For each loop is clear. Syntax is clear. Or any doubts? This we will use mostly for later collections also. When you're learning collections like array list, set, those all collections will use this enhanced for loop only directly. Okay. Before starting the labs, enhanced for loop, the whatever the new syntax we are seeing, enhanced for loop, improved for loop, or for each loop has the limitations. Our regular for loop, you can do anything. For example, you see the case as, we'll do the lab on regular for loop, the old for loop, whatever we have. First 2 to 4. Two to four. Into ARR equals to, currently I am taking the static one only, let it be simple. Static, I have an array like this, into ARR, some values are there, guys. Okay. Now, I want to print the elements, all the elements. How to print all the elements? System.out.println, println of task 1 I am doing is print all from beginning. Print all from beginning. Beginning means where you have to start I value, I equals to 0. All up to end, I less than. You declare if you want into n, or here only write arr dot length and I plus plus. Bracket not required because we'll have only a single line, right? 10 to 50. All will be printed. Printing all from beginning, right? All are printed. Next. I want to print all from third. All from beginning, I don't want, guys. From third. Second task is print all from third element. Previous is from first element. First element index is 0, right? From beginning means say it as a first element. From first element index is 0. 0 started. Now third element I am asking. You tell me the changes here on this. Printing all from third element. What changes? You have to start from 2. Very good, guys. Done. That's it. Third element index 2. Start from 2. Go for all. No problem. It will print all of those. 20, 30, 40, 50 has to be displayed, right? Okay. Done. Okay. Next. I want like elements at odd indexes. Simply element at odd indexes. Number 3. Print all on odd indexes. Odd, ODD, odd indexes. Means 1, 2, 5, like 1 odd means 3, right? 1, 3, 5 like that. Tell me the logic for printing odd indexes. Can I start from 1 only? Can I start from 1? For example, index I am starting from 1. Print that. Instead of I plus plus, can I do I equals to I plus 2? After 1, it will come 3. Yeah, otherwise you can also give a condition, but than condition, this is preferable. Okay. So I'm printing all. Currently, we have indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. In this odd means 20 and 40 at 1 and third. Done. I want to print in the reverse order, guys. Reverse order. Tell me the logic of printing at reverse order. Tell me logic to print at reverse order, guys. Tell me the logic for printing at reverse order. Where I have to initialize? Where I should be initialized? Here n equals to 5. Length, what is the last index? You start from last index. How can I get a last index for my length minus 1, right? Very good. I equals to arr dot length minus 1. Then condition you have to tell me. Condition, guys. Condition. I greater than or equals 0. Very good. I greater than or equals to 0. This is I plus plus or I minus minus? I minus. it starts printing from all. Done. So it prints in the reverse order. No, no, no. No, I have to recompile, guys. See, last fourth option printed 50, 40, 30. So regular for loop. Why I have done all of this is using the regular for loop, you can access the elements in any way. Am I right? Using the regular for loop, you can access the elements from beginning to end to beginning, or can access randomly also. I picked odd numbers like this, starting from second and all. So however I want, randomly I can access. Yes or no? Using the regular for loop, I can access the elements of an array randomly. However I want, I can access. I can start from end to begin, begin to end, middle to first, first to last, anywhere. N number of ways to do randomly. You can do that. But enhanced for loop will not give you this many number of facilities. Enhanced for loop will not give you this many number of facilities. See, tell me, see the syntax and think, for using enhanced for loop, any chance to do this kind of things? First to reverse, first to last, last to for this many facilities for int x colon arr. This is how you write SOPX. So what it will print, guys? This is the code for enhanced for loop. What it prints? What it prints? It will print 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That's it. All elements from beginning, first to last. That's it, right? All elements, first to last. All element, first to last. Any chance to print in the reverse order using this syntax? Any chance to print in the reverse order using this syntax? No way. Any chance to pick randomly, like I want even indexes or odd indexes, or I want to start from middle to last, or I want to start from middle to the first. Like this, if you want to play, you can't play with enhanced for loop. Only the regular for loop, the old for loop is the one, right? Right? Bhargav is telling, but can we give any condition in for each loop? But if you give a condition, for example, Bhargav, you print the even indexes. Find the logic for even indexes. You add a condition and tell me. Or you do this requirement, guys. Odd indexes. This third use case is there, right? Odd indexes. How you will do this? Think. Any possibility? No way. Because do you have a control of indexes? In this enhanced for loop, guys, are you getting access to indexes? You don't have access to indexes actually. You don't have control on the indexes. It is everything it is managing. Everything it is managed. It is giving you the values one by one. It always starts from beginning only. It will start indexes from 0. From that, it will start giving first element. It will give, use it. It will give second element, use it. It will give next third element. Like this, one by one. For every element, it will supply one time. You use it in your method. That's it. So we don't have that many number of alternatives for that. Generally, say in general, maybe when you develop a real-time applications, suppose I got my student data from database. Suppose in my database table, I have a 200 students data is there. So I got the data from database, I stored in array. So my array contains 200 students data. Generally, I want to process all the students data starting from 1. If you want just processing from 0 first to all the students, you can use simplified syntax. Take the first element, first student, process it. Second student, process it. Maybe processing can be anything, just sending email, or I am checking whether student coming to classes regularly, checking the attendance. Attendance is okay, leave it, take a next student. Attendance is not okay, then send a mail. You are not coming to classes regularly. Next, second student. Attendance okay, okay. Fee balance, anything is there, not there, okay, leave it. Next student. Attendance not coming, send a mail. Fee balance is there, again send SMS or do something. Like this, you want to process for every student. Then enhanced for loop is really useful to you to use it. Okay? That's fine. Now the next lab is 225. Okay? This regular for loop I am keeping. This regular for loop is printing from 0 beginning to all. Then enhanced for loop I am writing for int x colon arr. Right? It is just x. Simple, right? It looks easy or not? Easy. Only one use case. Accessing all elements from first to last in the forward direction only you can do with same task, printing all from first to last. Regular for loop, how you're doing. Enhanced for loop, how you're doing. See the syntax is only yours looking simple, enhanced. Right, 25, compile. Just same thing, printing 2 times. One using regular for loop, 10 to 15, again using enhanced for loop. Okay, simple syntax. And further we will use the regular for loop, enhanced for loop many times. We'll use further in programs. 26. I am taking a double array. Double ARR equals to something called 10.5, 20.9, 30.3, 40.2, 50.4, something like this. Double values are there in this. Okay. Now, any change in the array? In this for loop, any change, guys? Regular for loop, any change? Regular for loop, any change to print the array elements? No change. Enhanced for loop, any change required? Enhanced for loop, any changes to print this double array? Enhanced for loop, any changes required to print? Where I had to change? What should be the X type now? X must be the double, right? Because you're getting element from double array. Each time it will get a double. You store in X must be of double. Very good. Change this to double. That's it. Same double array we are printing regularly one time. This is using regular for loop and this is using enhanced for loop. So clear, guys? That's about enhanced for loop syntax. Any doubts on enhanced for loop syntax? And is that clear? Differences between enhanced for loop and regular for loop clear? Differences between enhanced for loop and regular for loop clear? Right? What is that, Pavitra? I didn't get your question. Above for loop, there is int. Where? Which line in this, Pavitra? In this program only? Int I equals 0 is our regular for loop, right? Why we have to modify this in the regular for loop? That is our counter, right? That is not related to our data. I is not for storing data. I is our counter. That always for loop counters always integers only. For loop counters, you keep always counting 1, 2, 3, right? That won't change. Okay. And final twist is, this is fine. 26 already printed, compiled, executed. See, there's no changes. 26 already compiled, executed, done. Now, one last twist is, when you write enhanced for loop, your compiler knows. Your JVM don't know anything about enhanced for loop. JVM don't know anything about enhanced for loop. JVM don't know anything about enhanced for loop. What it means, guys? Tell me what it means. Do you get my point or not? No answers. JVM don't know about enhanced for loop. Enhanced for loop or for each loop. What do you, what it means? That's it. Bhargav has answered it. Hari Shankar has answered it. Wonderful. Compiler will translate. Compiler will translate for each loop into the regular loop. That's it. Compiler only knows this. It means in the bytecode, how it looks? In the bytecode, it looks like this, right? That's it. In bytecode, you're writing this 2 times. Yes or no? In bytecode, this looks like this. Can we test it? Can we test it? So the previous lab is, our previous lab is 225. 225, the integer. 2 times I used, right? 225 byte code is there. Now 226 byte code is there. I am going to my decompiler online, which is free. Integer array example I'll take. Module 2, part 5. 225 I'm taking. Say this. This is your array. Fine. My array as it is, no problem. This is integer related. And this is our regular for loop, whatever I have written already. Now, whatever enhanced for loop I have written, enhanced for loop is gone. Again, back to the regular for loop with the counter 0, less than this, plus, same as that. So, regular for loop is the standard that is used internally. For your simplification, it is only developer simplification, right? Because of enhanced for loop, what is the advantage? If I ask you what is the advantage, will it reduce any memory? Will it reduce any execution time? Will it reduce any memory, execution time, all that? No. It is just for a developer convenient, easy, less syntax, less code you write. Other than that, nothing. So is that clear, guys? Those are bananas for loop and many other examples we'll do on the way. We'll do that. Next. So we are done mostly about a one-dimensional array. Before concluding, we'll see one more. One-dimensional array, we have seen with the integers, primitives, all that, but strings, I'll tell you a special story. Array of strings. Before going to array of strings, I'll just revise my primitive and reference variable concept. You already know, but I'm just primitive variables and reference variables. Okay. And primitive int a equals to 10 I am taking, guys. So a is a primitive. What is exactly meaning of primitive variable? It stores the data. Am I right? So because of integer, 4 bytes of memory will be allocated. Block name is a. It is storing the data. Your data is 10. It is storing the data 10. If variable stores the data directly, that is a primitive. And what about reference? String str equals to, suppose I am saying hello guys. Str is a reference because it was defined. So str, how many bytes it will get? 8 bytes. Will it store the data in these 8 bytes? Will it store the data in these 8 bytes? No. What it stores? It stores the address of data. Means it is storing data somewhere. What is your data? Hello guys. Storing the data somewhere. It stores the data somewhere. In some room it will store. This room address 500 it is storing. What reference variable containing? What reference variable containing? Summary of this. It contains address of data. What is your data? Hello guys is your data. What is address? 500. So what you have in reference variable? Reference variable contains address 500 of your data, where your data is there, that your locker address is there here. What about primitives, guys? Primitives directly contains the data, right? Directly contains the data. Super clear? Clear? I told you many times this point. Again, I intentionally reiterated. Next page I am going. You answer this. String str array I am taking, guys. New string of 5. We'll talk about everything later. First, I want you from this. In this line, how much space will be allocated internally? Tell me that first. How much space will be allocated internally for this, guys? Calculate and tell me how much space it allocates. Naveen, Bhargav, Ramesh answered 48, 48, 48. Pankaj also 48. Any other numbers from others? Any other numbers? Only 48 all are telling. Very good, guys. Very good. This is what I want. All are right. Very good. So draw the diagram now. str is a reference variable. Am I right? str is a reference variable. Now see, guys. str equals to JLCM, right? Whether this statement is right or wrong, tell me. The statement is right or wrong, tell me. This line is okay or not okay, tell me. Think deep and tell me. Pankaj only told wrong. Why this line is wrong? Other guys think. Not index. The str is reference variable, right? No, str is already there. No. I think you are thinking my question. Maybe you are taking the question itself wrongly. Okay, I'll come back to the question again. After some time, I'll come back. So run this line number. Run this line. str is reference variable. Okay, guys. How many bytes will be allocated for this? 8 bytes. Initially, what is the value of this? Null. Okay. The declaration part over. Come to the construction. It has to allocate the blocks. How many blocks has to be allocated? How many blocks has to be allocated? 5 blocks. And what do you want to store in these blocks, guys? What do you want to store in these blocks? What do you want to store in these blocks? String data or a string object address? You want to store a string data or a string object addresses? Okay. All are telling string data. Wonderful. I just now praised you. All are good. Then all are told wrong answer. If it is string data, tell me how much space it will allocate. Okay. Each block space, tell me. 5 blocks, you are good. This answer you told easily because 5 number is there. 5 told. What is the size of each block, please? Size is 8 bytes. If it is 8 bytes room, this is 8 bytes room, you are telling. Are you sure? This is 8 bytes room, guys. In this room, can you store the data? Can you store the data? My data is, hello guys, I am Srinivasdande. That is my big data. That much can you store? No. 4 bytes, 8 bytes means 4 characters only can store. So this is for the 5 blocks you are allocating for storing the 5 string addresses, guys, not the data. Got it? So these are all references now. This is a null reference. It stores the null. 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 Now this address is say something 500. Each block each is 8 bytes only. 8 bytes only. 8 bytes only. 8 bytes only. Address 500 you are storing here. 500 you are storing here. So size, when I ask, you told some number. This is 8 bytes. 8 into 5. 8 into 5. 8 into 5 plus 8. 40 plus 8. The 48. This answer you told correctly. Means you know that this each block is 8 bytes. Then guys, you answered you are storing a string data. How you answered you are storing a string data? In 8 bytes, how can I store my string data? What is a string? String is a collection of characters. How many? Any number I want, I'll take. I'll take 1,000 characters in a string. Yes, you take 1,000 characters means you need 1,000 into 2 bytes. 2,000 bytes of memory required for storing my string. But you have 8 bytes. So this is not for storing data. This is for only storing addresses of your data. You keep data somewhere happily. You want 10 bytes, 20 bytes, 1,000 bytes, 10,000 bytes, whatever data you have, small or big, keep somewhere. Bring the address here. I will keep only addresses in the array. Is that clear? Okay, guys. Now, in the first string, I am taking str of 0 equals to, I'll write this another side. Come this side. Str of 0 equals to, hello guys. What happens now? Hello guys, string object will created separately, guys. Hello guys, roughly 10 characters. It takes the around 20 bytes of memory. It stores the address of this. Where you are storing address of this? In a zeroth index. This is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. Zeroth index. Now this contains the address of this. Next I am doing str of 2 equals to JLC. Another string will be created separately. String object. This is I am storing in 2 index. In this room I am keeping. Now no null in this, right? Suppose the address is 600, guys. Here I am keeping 600. This is 800. I am keeping 800. Okay. Now I will take str of 4 equals to what I'll use Srinivas, SRI and something like. So another object. This I am storing here. So still some are null only. Let it be. I am not assigning there. This is the 900 here. How the string array is represented, clear? What str contains? What str contains? What str contains? Address. What str of 0 contains? Str of 0, guys. Make sure str what it contains. Str of 0 what it contains. At one line you say address, address only, right? Whether all addresses same? Now tell me the sentence clearly. What str contains? What str contains? Again, you're telling address only. I want a differentiation, guys. Some differentiation. Str contains address. Okay. At high level, guys, str contains address. Str of 0 also contains address. But there is a difference in the addresses. All addresses not same. Your house address, my house address not same, right? Object address only. All are objects only. Naveen, address means it belongs to object address, not my house address, not your house address. Address in Java, we are talking about address means address of an object. But objects are not same, right? Different objects are there. Yes, you are coming up now. What str contains? Now tell me. Again, I am asking. What str contains? This time you have to answer correctly, guys. Oh my God. Address of first index. Where is the first index, Naveen? First index, 0th index, you have to say 0. See, in the case of array, you no need to say it as 0th index, or can I say it contains address of array object? Somebody told already, one guy only told, I didn't highlight that. One guy answered, address of array object. I just want to make it super clear, guys. Tell me, str of 0, at least now tell me, what str of 0? Str of 0 contains address of string object. There is a string object, right? String object. str of 1. str of 2. I think these are all same answer, right? Currently in the sample data, guys, maybe first contains the hello guys object address, JLC object, maybe this is null is there, leave it. In general, it contains, so whether address of array object, address of string object compatible or not, that is my question I want. Address of array object, address of string object are compatible or not is my, that is my question, guys. So here is the str available, right? I am doing this. This is about the already declared str. Str equals to, I am writing JLC. This is the line I asked. For this, I am telling all the story. You see this line is okay or not? Tell me. Str equals to JLC. Str already declared. Please don't say that it is not declared. Already str is declared in this line. Already memory allocated. What I am doing here? This line you tell me, please. Lakshmi is telling incompatible. Why Lakshmi? Because what str can contain? Str can only contains address of array objects. Naveen, you cannot say like that. I mean, what mistake I have done, you have to say. The mistake I have done, you have to say. Not, I am doing index, not writing. If write index, fine. If write index like this, okay. Index, if you write, that is fine. But what I am doing, the mistake I am doing is string address, string object address. JLC is a string object address I am assigning to str. But here str cannot hold string addresses. Str here only for holding array address. Str only can contain array object address. You cannot store string object address into array reference variable. That difference you make it, guys. I think that everywhere later when you learn object-oriented programming, this reference variables will write so many classes. Customer reference variable will write hello class, hi class, so many classes. But compatibility of the reference variable object must be there. So this reference variable, this object compatible. Str is a reference variable of array type, but JLC is a string type. Reference variable type is different, object type is different, incompatible. Am I right? Yes, very good. That is about string array of strings. The point heading is, this is special story of array of strings. Understand this, how internally array of strings are represented? Array of primitives we have seen many cases, many examples just before. Strings, the representations are this. These are the key points you have to remember about array of strings, guys. Clear? Okay. Now, just one simple one, two simple labs we'll do on this. 226 done. 227. Okay. So string, I'm taking quotes as is the array name equals to new string of, just taking the 3 size enough. Okay. Now, see you are courses of 0. First course I'm assigning to Java. One, two. Something as jails. Now I can print this using either enhanced for loop or regular for loop. Anything, right? Regular for loop means as it is. Anyway, we have seen that. Leave it. We'll just use. I want to print this using enhanced for loop. You tell me the changes in this enhanced for loop. Tell me changes in the enhanced for loop. What is the array first? After colon, what you have to write, guys? Array you have to write. Okay, writing. From this array, each time one quotes will come and store. Instead of x, I am using COU. Simply, COU is my variable. And what should the COU type? String. Very good. String type. And you print it. Done? $227. It just prints the courses. That's it. But syntaxes. So the last I told you, that is what I want to say. COURSES. Courses. Courses is a reference variable. Courses is a reference variable, which is array type. Which is array type. I am doing a mistake here. Okay, simply. Hello, guys. Tell me this line, please. What happens in this line? This is the line we discussed, right? Can I compile and show this? Understand difference? String cannot be converted to string array. See the conversion. This is a string. Which one? Hello, guys, double quotation is a string. Cannot be converted to string array. Why string array? Courses is string array. String is different. String array is different. String address different. Array address different. That's the compatible That's point. Most important. It is not just about a string and arrays. Later, whenever you write a reference variables, when you create objects, compatibility must be there. Okay? This point take out. Next, 228. These strings also, you can do the static initialization, guys. This also you can do the static initialization. How can I do that? You say Java, comma, DSA, comma. JLC is not a course, but just, okay. I have a static array. This is static initialized array. Then I am printing using enhanced for loop. Same thing. Nothing is there. Fine. 228, just compile and run. Okay. That's about array of strings. So in this session, what we discussed, one array of strings we discussed. Before to that, enhanced for loop or for each loop. And before that, anonymous arrays. Before that, we discussed about static and dynamic initialization. Static and dynamic initialization, then anonymous arrays, then enhanced for loop, then array of strings. That was done in this. With this one-dimensional, all aspects, all the concepts done successfully. In the next session, we'll do the multi-dimensional arrays. We'll start with the 2D arrays called as matrix. Okay, guys, remaining we'll see in the next session.